So perhaps to start a bit about me, and actually not so much about me, but about what Johnson was trying to do when it comes to digital. When I came to the role that I have already back in 2018, actually the company was developing capabilities on data science, on AI, obviously using IT, OT, but it was not so much thinking about the external environment, how that influences what we were trying to do as a business. So we started to look actually that today, pretty much of the policies and the legislation that comes to an impact digital had a really direct impact on the business of J&J, but we were not engaging as much as we are engaging in healthcare policy, for example. So therefore, we built that capability internally, and we started to look actually on that blend between what we are trying to do in the business and what's happening externally. And I think, and we have seen actually some very interesting use cases, by the way. Being here 40 minutes already give you some interesting insights actually about the innovation that is happening in healthcare. In our company, and for those that know Johnson & Johnson, or if you don't, we have two sectors, medtech and innovative medicines. And in medtech, for example, some of the innovations we try to bring with AI are looking, for example, in the orthopedics space. One of the key operations in orthopedics is the replacement of the knee by an implant, which actually has been evolving with actually great technology. Implants today last much longer than they used to, which is really great news. But still, the level of satisfaction was really, really low with patients. So still things will not work, the knee and the movement will not feel natural, and there will be still things that will not be properly adjusted. Technology has brought actually 3D printing, which actually is great for younger patients because their bone can knit into the implant. And that's all empowered by AI. So we can now make implants which are really more adjusted to the anatomy of the person and also even accompany the natural movement. Typically, surgeons, when they will align the implant to the bone, they will try to keep straight lines. No, we will think things are straight. But if you see even my own legs, they don't look straight. So if they put a straight knee in my leg, I will actually start working in a very weird manner. So, and that actually impacts the way that you really feel about your knee and what they've done to you. So with 3D printing, we can really customize to the anatomy and to the movement of the person. But we actually also now are entering into the space of digital and robotic-assisted solutions, which actually helps the surgeon to really identify exactly to the millimeter what the patient really needs in terms of an implant, but also how it needs to be positioned. And even with the robotic-assisted solution, it can really help actually that the surgeon does not need to do guesswork when they need to operate, but actually they keep a very reliable outcome. And the robot is really helping them to guide. It's like a second pair of eyes. So we see a lot of innovation happening, and actually the levels of satisfaction have gone really, really high, even up to 90% when people are getting operated with this type of solutions. In the innovative medicine sector, I think one of the key areas where AI is applied across the industry is in clinical trials. And one of the key areas for us, and it really relates on how do we make sure that treatments are accessed by all the patients that really need those treatments, is by trying to make clinical trials much more diverse. Today, one of the challenges to get these clinical trials diverse and inclusive is the distance of patients, eligible patients, to the centers where these clinical trials are going to be run. Typically, 60 to 80% of the eligible patients will live far away from these centers. And today, if we don't know where these patients are, we typically will actually have a very skewed data set, which actually is going to inform the clinical trial, I would say, in a biased way. So we will really be missing out patients that really need or could benefit from those treatments. So what we're doing basically is we are putting census data all together, and with machine learning, we are trying to identify patients. So now we are redesigning clinical trials, and we bring those clinical trials where the patients are, as opposed to where the academic centers exist today. So that's a big innovation. We are now actually increasing diversity more than twice or 3 times that we had in the past. All this brings precision medicine, and precision medicine is all about having the right treatment at the right time for the right disease at the right patient. So it's really the right thing. And AI and machine learning is certainly helping in there. Now in healthcare, and for those who know, and probably maybe that differentiates from other digitally transforming industries, trust is in the essence. It's the essence in the relationship between the patient, the healthcare organization, the healthcare professional, even the industry obviously plays a role there. And AI is no different. AI also needs to be trusted in order for healthcare professionals to use. We are developing amazing technologies. You have seen my company is doing it as well. But if it's not uptaken by healthcare professionals or healthcare organizations, it's of no value. It's not helping to restore lives. So it's really important that we really build that trust. Now, that trust goes first by a commitment that every organization needs to do when it comes to using and developing AI in an ethical manner. I think we heard before transparency, explainability are really key considerations because this way healthcare professionals but also patients understand what an AI solution can do or cannot do. So that's really important. But also making it that it's secure, that it respects the privacy of people, and it's fair, no? It's inclusive of every population. So those principles are really principles that J&J adheres to, but a company or an organization is not enough. Collaboration is key. Therefore, we need ethical frameworks that really encompass these principles in a scalable manner. So the OECD, the WHO are developing principles, ethical principles on AI, which are really important, but they need to be translated at all levels, at local, at regional, and at global level. So it's really important collaboration across all levels. And the thing which is also essential in that transparency, explainability, is actually that healthcare professionals, but also patients, need to be educated. So skills is an essential element actually in order to foster that trust, to make those ethical frameworks really work in practice. Now, all this is great, it's fantastic. If we achieve that, I think we achieve quite a lot, but it takes a real village to make AI a reality, and a reality in a scalable manner. AI, we can have use cases, we can have many pilots, but if we really want AI to be a reality, it needs to be scalable across borders. And for that, we need proper policy frameworks. These policy frameworks today tend to be seen and focused on regulation. No? We got the AI Act, which is obviously putting huge focus on how do we regulate the potential risks from AI. And we believe actually that's great and it's welcome, but I think the key is going to be on how do we really implement this regulation. I think one of the key areas in healthcare where we believe it needs to inform the implementation of the AI Act is to look at what we already exist in medical devices and in vitro diagnostics. We have two pieces of legislation which are evolving with additional standards and guidelines and that are already address some of the risks from AI. Now, there might be some gaps. Those are the gaps that need to be played by the AI Act, but also by standards at international level. So it's really important that we are able to really make, I would say, a fluid and seamless interaction between different regulatory frameworks. The other aspect which is really key, and it's the essence actually, as you have seen in many of the use cases, is to have data. I mean, today, I think in average, hospitals can really generate up to 50 petabytes, which is really enough paper to fill this auditorium and probably much more. But this data, at least 97% is unused. So imagine the potential or how much we are missing out, actually, if we want to develop algorithms that really represent the patients that we are trying to treat in every hospital. So we need to get access to that data, but that data can only be accessed if we trust how to access that. So data governance is key. It's key for anyone managing IT or privacy in a hospital, but also in a company. But it's key that we really get to understand each other across the value chain. So data governance frameworks are really key in that. We also believe that actually we also need proper legislation that can enable that happen. So it's not only governance frameworks, but also legislation. And the European health data space brings a huge opportunity in advancing that space. So all that's the different elements I really wanted to share with you today. In reality, all this great innovation that we have seen today and much more that we're going to see can only happen if we really trust, if we keep the patients as the North Star of what we try to do, and we got the right frameworks that really foster and make us advance on that. Our CEO tends to say, and I would like to close with that, that if we are really able to effectively combine data science, life science, and technology, we are going to see much more advancement in healthcare in the next decade than we have seen in the last century. So I really believe in that, but again, I'm really happy to engage with you and partner in advancing this agenda. Thank you.